Okay, so atha, therefore, he's saying, like we atha to brahma jigyasa. Therefore, now that you have got a human form of life, atha. Atha means therefore. After maybe he said all these things, um, before, my Lord, it is not impossible for one to be immediately freed from all material contamination by seeing you. So, who will not be freed from material contamination simply by seeing you? Therefore, who will not be freed from material contamination by seeing you? Therefore, my dear Lord, Bhagwan, Vayam Vi Adhuna, at the present moment, Tvatavaloka, by seeing you, Parimrishta, wiped away, Ashaya Malaha. So, Mala means dirt, Ashaya means contaminated desires in the heart. Sura Rishina, by the great sage, Sura and Rishis, the great sage of the demigods. That's Narad Muni. Everybody respects Narad Muni. He's the great sage of the demigods, Narada. Yat which, Kathitam spoken, Tavakena, who is your devotee? Katham, how? Anyatha, otherwise, Bhavati, can it be? So, translation. Therefore, my dear Lord, why therefore? Because who cannot be freed from contamination simply by seeing you? Therefore, so he is saying, my dear Lord, simply seeing you has now wiped away all the contamination of sinful activities, ashaya malaha, and the results of material attachment and lusty desires, which always filled my mind and the core of my heart. So now that I have seen you, I become completely free from all sinful desires. Whatever is predicted by the great sage Narad Muni cannot be otherwise. Because Narad Muni showed him how to worship. In other words, I have obtained your audience as a result of being trained by Narad Muni. So he is grateful to Narad Muni that because of him I got I got you. So bhakta, by mercy of a bhakta can Bhagwan be attained. That we see in everywhere. In which other pastime where by the mercy of Narad Muni they got the audience of Krishna?
Really, like Dhruva Maharaj
Dhruva Maharaj, yes.
and Bigari, Valmiki.
Mrigari, did he see this Lord? It doesn't say he saw the Lord, but he became Krishna
Yeah, he
also.
didn't saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Prahlad Maharaj
Prahlad Maharaj, yeah, because Dev came in person.
came in person. And Nalkuvira Manigriva.
Yeah, Nalkuvar,
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking.
Nalkuvir
Nalkuvar and
Manigriva.
Manikriva. Yeah. Just now we celebrated Damodar Leela. So it's only because of Narad Muni they got audience of Krishna. So that is how, okay. This is the process of the perfect way. One must take lessons from authorities like Narada, Vyasa, and Asita and follow their principle. This one. And follow their principles. So Prabhupada is saying one must take lessons from authorities and follow their principles from the great sages. That's true in material life also, right? If I want to be expert in any field, then I have to follow those who are expert and we learn. Then one will be able to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead even with one's own eyes. One only needs training. So that training is to focus the Lord, sadhana, like that. Gurukul, they get training, like children get training in Gurukul from the beginning of life, how to control the senses and how to worship the Supreme Lord, how to develop all the good qualities. So for everything there is training, right? Without training, there's a training in spiritual life also. So so that training, as Prahlad Maharaj says, should beginning from very very early age of life. But if it didn't begin, then whenever we start, that's where we should start. So we have to train, but training means like either you can train yourself, like sometimes you have software, your new thing that has come out, then you look at some videos and you train yourself how to how to do it, and you on your own effort you do some training, or you go to some class, 5 day class where a teacher is teaching. The more easier way and better way to learn is to go through a class, because there you are learning from, it will require less effort, you could say, because you're learning from an expert than figuring things out on your own. So both have to be there. And then when you come back after the training, then you have to practice yourself, right? You have to do your, otherwise after that if you don't do your homework, then you lose it, you'll forget. So so like that, so we have to hear, and then after hearing we have to apply in our life. Some people live in the ashram whole life, like in brahmachari ashram, so every day there is some rules and regulations to follow. So there is a community and you get trained, so it's easy. At home we have to motivate ourselves, but if our family is devotees, then that's also an ashram, grihastha ashram, in which everybody motivates each other to become Krishna conscious. So we need motivation, inspiration. That's basically will increase our determination. So so one only needs training. So in training, like when I went to some training, when you do some exercise and you got stuck, right, in something, then the teacher will come and they'll say, okay, you do it like this. They'll watch you and they'll say, okay, not like this. This is the way you do it, and they'll explain the concepts and everything. So that's why teacher is required in spiritual life also, to train, to oversee. Right? Generally, if somebody is overseeing, then it's easier, because if you get stuck, then we can approach. So so we can have somebody in our life who kind of oversees, like you all were overseeing. Yesterday I didn't come, so I got many messages why I didn't come. So we are like overseeing. If I don't show up for chanting, so so like that, there should be somebody to supervise, and accountability should be there also. You know, that will increase our, what you can say, if there is accountability, that will increase. We'll feel responsible and we will feel like doing it. Like if I don't go, then others will ask, what will, if I don't do my work at job, my boss will ask why I didn't do, what's going on. So to give an explanation. When you are accountable, you have to give an explanation. So this is all happens in training. One only needs training. Atah Shri Krishna Namadi na bhavet krayam indriyai. Another thing is in training, in some, like if you stay in brahmachari ashram where I stayed, you cannot sleep at any time, you cannot come at any time, like you cannot go out and you know do your own thing. And then there is a discipline. You get all this discipline. Okay, now 9 o'clock, everybody should be in the ashram. Lights have to be off. 3:30. Okay, everybody should be up, like that. So it's a regimen that you follow. And then you go take bath. Just go for Mangalarti. Then Unless you are sick or something like that, they'll excuse you. But generally, there is a regimen you follow, and then that leads to consistency and like that discipline. So that's the most difficult thing because our mind freaks out, right? When we are, our mind doesn't like control. It just wants to. This I'm saying about myself. It just wants to do its own thing, right? So that's the problem. It doesn't like any control from anybody, and it makes us convinced that if I don't have any control and I do the way I want, and I'm just free, free bird, then I will be very happy. Then we feel also, "Oh, I'm independent, I can do whatever I like." And yeah, there may be some kind of happiness that comes from that. But in the long run, it will also cause problems because your mind gets habituated in a different way. And then it becomes a problem. It becomes a habit and so many things like that. And it becomes difficult to get rid of that addiction, whatever habit you develop. So this is all very difficult. Of course, now we know theoretically. So the thing is, then you have to be very serious, Prabhupada said. It's like in a war, even you killed so many people, right, for so many days, but one day you are not serious. You can be shot. Let's say there is a war that's going on, and you killed so many enemies, right, in the war. But one day you just said, oh, now I have to relax. And that's the day you get shot. So this is how it happens. Maya is always like looking, where is the opportunity? Where is the opportunity? And the moment we become relaxed and lax, then that's when she strikes. And as we heard, right, it doesn't matter how many years you have been in Krishna consciousness, how much service you have done, it doesn't matter. Anybody can, like, fall down at any time. So one has to be very vigilant. That means we have to always remain, like, we have to always chant here about Krishna, always. Otherwise, any moment it can happen. Maya can just. So we have to be on guard. Like those who are at the border, guarding the country's borders. They have to be very vigilant. Any enemy aircraft is coming on. Radar is always on. So 24/7. Till the time you get spontaneous attachment to Krishna, then it's like automatic. But till that time we have to. So Ata Shri Krishna Namadi na bhavet krayam indriyai. With our blunt eyes and other senses, we cannot perceive the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we have to have love in the heart. But if we engage our senses in the service of the Lord, according to the instructions of the authorities, it will be possible to see Him. As soon as one sees the Supreme Personality of Godhead, all the sinful reaction in the core of one's heart are certainly vanquished. So one becomes purified. Om apavitro pavitro va. What is that verse? Om apavitro pavitro va. You can finish the verse.
Sarvastam gatopyo smarit punrikaksham savaya vitram suchi. That one, Prabhuji?
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
You want to explain what that means?
I don't know but I know like during shower time, like we chant that mantra for the inner and outer purity.
Every day you chant during shower?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know that we chant. I thought in the time of initiation we do that, but we are supposed to chant.
Yeah, somewhere I read and I started doing that. So yeah, but I don't know the in-depth meaning.
Yeah, generally we say shower time Gange cha Yamuna chaive. Right, that verse.
Gange
Mhm.
Yamuna. Yeah, that one also.
Godavari Saraswati Narmade
Mhm.
Sindhu
But
Kaveri.
I saw like this. Other sloka, like they chant even like during the DT service when they do like with water all the purity.
Hmm.
They do that time also. So uh, yeah,
So this verse says, Om apavitra. Apavitra means pavitra,
Contaminated.
impurity.
impurity. Yeah. Om apavitra, pavitrova. Whether you are pure or impure. Om apavitro, pavitrova. Sarva
Servants.
avastha. Avastha means what?
In all other condition.
Situation. Yeah.
Avastha means condition. Means you have gone through so many conditions. I mean, different situations in material world, right? So, Om apavitro pavitro va. Or va means or. Either you are pure or impure. Sarva avastham. Avastham means eh, like,
Condition.
yeah, condition, your situation.
Situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sarva avastham. Gato piva. What does that mean? Gato piva. I think gata means having gone through. Whether you are pure or impure, having gone through all situations of life. Yah smaret. Yah means one who. Smaret
Yeah.
means to remember, right?
Remembers. Mhm.
And Pundarik, Pundarik means
It's another name of Krishna, Vishnu.
Pundarik is
Pundarik
what?
means lotus, lotus like eyes, right?
Aksham is eyes.
Pundarikaksh,
Aksham.
Aksha
Pundarik. Pundarik is lotus. And Pundarikaksham means
is.
one who is has lotus eyes.
Mhm.
So if anybody, Krishna's eyes are like everything we say, like lotus, very beautifully shaped, like lotus petal. Yes, Maret Pundarikaksham, one who remembers the lotus-eyed Lord. Sabahya Abhyantara
Outward,
Suchi means Bahya means
outwardly and
and Abhyantara
and
Antara
inward.
inwardly. Suchi he means
Yeah.
Cleansing.
yeah, he becomes clean internally and externally. So if you remember Krishna, then we'll become clean. So then the question is, then how do we remember Krishna? We have to remember his form, right? So then you can remember the deities. You can remember the deities, the pictures of the deities. I mean, you go into temple, you remember the deities. Or you see all these pictures, right? Govardhan Leela picture or Bhagavad Gita picture or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu doing Sankirtan or Krishna coming charging with a wheel towards Bhishma Dev and Arjuna holding his feet. All these pictures are in my house. So, or Krishna sitting with his friends on the bank of Yamuna and Brahma is observing from the top. Or Krishna going into the forest with his cowherd friends and all the cows and everybody. They're running into the forest of Vrindavan. Or Krishna stealing butter. Or Krishna standing on the bank of Yamuna in his threefold bending form playing on his flute. So like that, there are so many different ways we can remember Krishna. And then we can become purified. So, and this is like seeing the Lord face to face. But then this question may come, right? Duryodhana did not get purified. As soon as one sees the Supreme Personality of Godhead, all the sinful reactions in the course of one's heart are certainly like. But they all got Sarupya Mukti. Everybody who died on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, they saw Krishna while dying because Krishna was there on the battlefield and they got Sarupya Mukti, means they went to Vaikuntha or Golok Vrindavan, wherever. But yeah, they got their eternal form. So this is the advantage of remembering Krishna. Okay. So in our mind, that is the highest instruction. We should always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. And When can you remember somebody? When you have
Love.
love. Like mother will remember the child. Maybe she's somewhere, right? Doing shopping or something. But at the back of her mind, "Oh, my baby, what I have to go back to my baby, right? Or after many days, if supposing the mother comes back, then she says, "Oh, how is my?" She's she's away. She's remembering and she's longing. She's longing to meet the baby. The mother is longing to meet the baby. There's a nice prayer, right, about longing by Vitrasura.
Yeah. How it starts? It starts with nan Ajatapakshayo mataram khaga stanyam yatha vatsara shudartha priyam priyeva vistam visanna manoravindakshti dikshate tvam.
Just
So
as
we
baby
say that.
birds. Yeah, go
Mhm.
ahead.
No, we say that Ajat Paksha, like a baby birds whose wings are not yet developed, they look for their mothers to when they return to feed them. And yeah, Istanyam Yathavasli. So he's saying three examples, like a small calf tied with rope, and they're waiting for mother so anxiously the time of milking. And third one is to drink. Okay, second one is the calves are waiting to drink the milk from their mothers. And Priyam Priya, a morose wife who is waiting for her husband who is away from the home to return. So, so in this way, he is earning to rendering service to the Lord.
So that is the eagerness, we say lolium, right? Like yeah, 2 days back, we heard a lecture from Keshav Maharaj. He was saying there are two options. Which option you will choose? One is, you make your career, have a nice situation in the material world, your children are well established, you are very happy materially speaking, your desires are fulfilled, and then you go back home, back to God, right? He was saying that. And the second option is, what is the second option he gave?
Um, I forgot that. What did he say?
The second option he gave is right now, if you have to go back home, back to God, are you ready? He was saying. Right? There are two options. One is go through material life and have a nice, happy material life, material situation. And at the end of life, go back home, back to God. The second option he says, right now, if somebody says, I'll take you back home, back to God, are you ready? Right? Like that Kailash. So then everybody said second option. And Maharaj was saying, I know you are saying, but you don't really mean it. We should have a seminar on truthfulness. Like
It is
that.
same like Pravriti Marg or Nivritti Marg, right?
Yeah, correct. Pravritti Marg means on the path of, you want to
Renunciation.
slowly and gradually become detached, renounced, and then Nivritti Marg is like want to go. So, that's so if we are eager to go somewhere, then we should be ready. And actually, we should be ready actually because we don't know which day will be our last day. So every day we should be ready, right? I mean, one day they say live every day as if it were your last because one day you will be right. So generally we think, well, if I live like that, then how can I plan, right, for the future? Because if today is my last day, then I'm not going to do any plan for tomorrow, right? So that is the thing. So that's like a little dilemma, that how can we plan for our retirement or anything? Because today is my last day anyway. So, but that will give you some urgency, right? You may plan, but yeah, we have to know that life is like a very fragile thing and it can end at any time. So that's me do what I have to do now first. Shubhasya Shigram. We say this. Okay, so we have to chant today and chant nicely today. Because today may be our last 16 rounds. So, and you can't take anything. You can't take your bead bag with you. You can't take your books with you. You can't take anything with you. So, all this we are doing is ultimately to change our consciousness. All this. So, we are going to take our consciousness with us. So, we have to say, think like that, that I'm chanting, I'm thinking. But is my consciousness changing? Of course, there is a benefit to chanting always, but ultimately, it is to change the inner world, our inner. We are chanting, we may be hearing all these things. Is ultimately to change our inner world, our value system, and all these things. What we think is most important in life is ultimately to change that. So, so every day we try, and it is a very big task, right? Because we are conditioned in this material world so badly through so many lifetimes, thinking that I am this body, yet like that. So it is very difficult to change that consciousness overnight. So every day we keep trying when we chant Hare Krishna. We are trying, to become Krishna conscious. We're trying to bring the mind to Krishna. We're trying to become Krishna conscious. So trying. One day Krishna will say, "Oh, he's trying very hard. I better help him." So, so that's when it happens, when we get success. Okay. Without trying, also Krishna can give mercy, causeless mercy. But generally, it doesn't happen like that. Like sometimes the example is given that Rabindranath Tagore, he got a degree without going through. He got an honorary degree from Oxford. Or, yeah, some other exceptions may be there. But exceptions are not the rule. We cannot do things like that. Oh, Jamil got the mercy because he chanted Narayan at the time of death. Okay, so like that, I will also, not do anything, and then later, then there are some exceptions, but exceptions are not the rule. So we should follow the standard process, as we do for everything, right? To become an engineer, we go through the standard process, get enrolled in a school, and just follow the process. So this is what Prabhupada was saying previously. We just get trained. Train means just do the standard process, day in and day out. So, next verse. Like, take some service and do that every day, regularly. And the most important service is, what does Prabhupada say? The most important service is
Chan- Chanting of the
chanting
holy
the
name.
holy name, right? Prabhupada writes that of all the regulative principles, the spiritual master's order to chant 16 rounds is the most essential. So, this is the service that we must do. If one wants to remember Krishna and not forget Krishna, this chanting of 16 rounds is very essential. He says like that. So, but even then we don't remember Krishna, right? Even if you are chanting. But then there is a quality to chanting also. It's not just chanting for the sake of chanting. There's a quality to chanting. So, so this is the most important service, to chant our 16 rounds, at least, he says. There's a purport. And this is in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Let's read its nice purport, short purport, where it is said that everything is meant to bring your mind to Vishnu. Smartavya satatam Vishnu. Vismartavyo na jatu chit sarve vidhi. Means whatever do's you do and whatever don'ts you avoid. it is all meant to, it should be subservient to this principle that always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. So, this verse is a quotation from Padma Puran. There are many regulative principles in the Shastras and directions given by the spiritual masters. This regulative principle should act as servant of the basic principle. That is, one should always remember Krishna and never forget him. This is possible when one chants the Hare Krishna mantra. Therefore, one must strictly chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra 24 hours daily. Prabhupada dropped a bomb there. 24, that's the ideal. Satatam kirtayanto mam. One may have other duties to perform under the direction of the spiritual master, but he must first abide by the spiritual master's order to chant a certain number of rounds. In our Krishna consciousness movement, we have recommended that the neophyte chant at least 16 rounds. Okay, neophytes, at least. This chanting of 16 rounds is absolutely necessary if one wants to remember Krishna and not forget him. So, 2 hours, 2.5 hours we are chanting. So, we are remembering Krishna if we are chanting nicely. So, then it will be possible that after you finish your chanting, also you'll remember Krishna. Because, like you saw a movie, like for 3 hours. Then, after you come out of the movie, then also the movie plays in your mind, right? Because you are absorbed in the movie. So, if you are absorbed in our chanting and remembering Krishna during our chanting, then afterwards also we'll remember. We can take it like that. This chanting of 16 rounds is absolutely necessary if one wants to remember Krishna and not forget him. Of all the regulative principles, the spiritual master's order to chant at least 16 rounds is most essential. Then Prabhupada says, one may sell books or enlist life members or render some other service. But these duties are not ordinary duties. These duties serve as impetus for remembering Krishna. When one goes with a Sankirtan party or sells books, he naturally remembers that he is going to sell Krishna's books. So we are not going out there for any other reason but to give Krishna to others. This is the consciousness when we go on book distribution. This is to give Krishna in the form of Bhagavad Gita, in the form of Krishna book to others, Bhagavatam. In this way, he is remembering Krishna. So another thing is now Gita Jayanti is coming up. So it's cold, I know, outside to go, but we can make some teams and go in the month of December, a few days, right? At least something is better than nothing. So we can go out door to door and distribute Bhagavad Gita. So if you are interested, then we can do that. So we can cover ourselves up with all the woolen clothes and all these jackets and thing, and then we can go out and give some. Of course, it can be done anytime, but sometimes we think like, oh, it's Gita Jayanti, let me do it. So Gita Jayanti month, December is the marathon month also. And sometimes you don't have to go out, you can just make phone calls. So we have a whole list of people from your home. Last time so many of you called and people, either they sponsored. So we have a target of 500 Gitas for this month to distribute. We already got, I'm asking everybody for some sponsorship. And many of you have kindly sponsored some. So according to your means. So we can either give the Gita to you. I ordered also recently all the Gita, so from BBT. So we can give the Gita to you, or we can distribute it to somebody free of cost. Generally we give if they are really going to read it. So that is also there. So we can give. So there are so many people out there who have not gotten Bhagavad Gita. So we should make some effort like that. Because I am doing Krishna's work. This is Krishna's mission. Ya idam puramam guyam mad bhakteshva vidashyati. Bhaktim mai param kritva. What is it? Mam eveshyati asanshaya. In the 18th chapter, Krishna says, for one who explains or gives this knowledge to others, then for him pure devotional service is guaranteed, and at the end he will come back to me. Like that he says. Then he says, रचतस्मान् मनुष्येषु कश्चिन् मे प्रिय प्रीतमा भविता न च मे तस्माद् अन्य प्रियतरो भुवि. There is no servant more dear to me, nor will there be ever one more dear. So we have to, yeah. So that's what, because Prabhupada was talking book distribution. I just remember. So when one goes with a Sankirtan party or sells books, he naturally remembers that he's going to sell Krishna's books. Some of you can also go. Patel Brothers allows us to keep a table inside. Sometimes he does. So you don't have to stand outside in the cold. Inside, in the shop, people are coming in. We have put table many times inside. So you are protected from the cold. And if he allows. We don't also want to like be too disruptive in their business. But if we have a desire, like, okay, I want to give 500 Gitas, so we can easily get, right? We can get sponsorship, and then after getting sponsorship throughout the year, also we can distribute Gitas. But we are also taking money so that the people who are getting benefited, they are buying Krishna's books. So somehow or other, Prabhupada wanted this. We have not invented this. Prabhupada said, if you want to please me, distribute my books. So we can go and distribute these books. And not only to Indians only, but Western also, if you have some excess like that. You can give as a Christmas gift to somebody. Many people like to give gifts. So, of course, the person should appreciate that. So, but you can give it as a spiritual book if you're giving it to a Western person. So when one goes with a Sankirtan party or sells books, he naturally remembers that he's going to sell Krishna's books. In this way, he's remembering Krishna. So this is very important. You have to remember why I'm doing what I'm doing. So that a simple thing, right? We have to remember the why, the, the motivation behind why I'm doing what I'm doing. Why am I chanting? Why I'm chanting so that I can become Krishna conscious. Ultimately, that is the answer to everything. Any service you do. Why I'm doing? Oh, I'm doing it so that I can please Krishna. I can please Srila Prabhupada. In this way, is remembering Krishna. When one goes to enlist a life member, he talks about Krishna and thereby remembers him. So sometimes when we do service, we have to also do it in like, we have to think about Krishna while doing the service. So we'll do it nicely. They say when you give a book to somebody, you first of all make them touch the book. Because when you touch the book, at least they are coming in contact with the book, Krishna in the form of the book. So you touch, let them touch the book. Give the book. The natural tendency is, if you extend your hand and give somebody, the natural tendency is to accept, right? Somebody gives you something with an extended hand, then the natural tendency is that you'll accept. That's one thing. And then as you are speaking and showing the pictures and all these things, talking about the book, you also praying at the back of your mind, Krishna, please inspire this soul to take a book. So you are also thinking about Krishna. And when you are doing this, Krishna, please inspire. You are in the heart of this person, a super soul. So please inspire him to take the book. So in that way, we are also, in this way, he is remembering Krishna. We are also remembering Krishna. One who is distributing. When one goes to enlist a life member, he talks about Krishna and thereby remembers him. So when we talk, we should remember, we should do it with affection. Bhajatam priti purvakam. Priti means affection. Smartavya satatam Vishnu. Vi smartavya na jatu chit. The conclusion is that one must act in such a way that he will always remember Krishna and one must refrain from doing things that make him forget Krishna. So sense gratification, we should always refrain from. But better to just refrain, it is always better to engage. So if you are fully engaged, then there is no time for the other things. So we should be engaged always. So then in the positive activities. So then there is no time for doing the negative activities. These two principles form the basic background of Krishna consciousness. Like if a toilet is occupied, then you can't get inside. So if our mind is occupied with Krishna, Krishna's thoughts, then other things cannot come inside. It's like that's one way to also avoid the bad thoughts, the bad desires, is to always have the positive desires. Because sometimes we talk of negative things, but positivity. Because what has happened in the past has happened. We can't change that. So something that we didn't do properly or whatever, we wasted our time. But now we have another day. Right? Let's do positive things today. So as Janish was saying, right, Janish, every moment is a choice. I think you were saying or
Yes,
something.
Radhika.
Huh?
Yeah, we talked about few, I think day before or sometime.
Yeah. So at every moment, like, yeah, we have to remember Krishna. So then that's like how chant Hare Krishna, and then all these things we are doing is to bring our mind to Krishna ultimately. So that, and then if we can't bring our mind to Krishna, then also one devotee was saying, you have to turn every weakness into a prayer. So every weakness we have, Krishna, I am not able to do it. Can you please help? So in that way also you are connecting with Krishna. So like that. So then we'll be praying all day, right? If we are not able to remember, Krishna, please help, Krishna, please, please, like that. And it's like begging Krishna, crying. Okay. Because if you don't remember Krishna, then also we should think, what is the other option? Rotation in the cycle of birth and death. And we will do activities. If you forget Krishna, then we'll do activities that will be not good for us. And then we'll get a reaction for all those activities. And then we have to suffer for these things. And to again come back in this material world. Again go through all this struggle. But other way, you have to contrast, compare and contrast. This is the way going to eternal happiness. This is the path going to eternal happiness, full of happiness. And then this is the path of repeated birth and death. Like there are two verses. One is in Kapila Dev's section. Right? He says, they are quickly set on the path of liberation. Those who hear and chant about me, they are set on the path of liberation. How does it start? Satam, Satam. Anybody remember? First, this is the first word. Satam
Shatam
prasanga
Prasanga.
mama virya samvido
Sangeet.
bhavanti
Correct.
ritkarna rasayana katha.
Mm, I'll tell you. Satam prasanga mama veeri samvido bhavantu hitkandrasayan katha. Tadjoshnad asvapavargavartmani Shraddharati Bhakti Anukramishyati.
So
And the
it is said,
association of pure divinity.
yeah, apavarga vartmani. This is vartmani means the path. One is set on the path of liberation. How? By coming in association of devotees and chanting and hearing about Krishna. Then one is set on the path of liberation. Means because our, what you can say, affection or our inspiration, our understanding of inspiration will become good. Parasparanukatham, that's another verse. Pavanam Bhagavad Yashaha. So we said, and then in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, this is Apavarga Vartmani. Apavarga means, what is Pavarga?
Um,
Pavarga means
Means
Pa,
like,
Fa, Ba, Bha, Ma.
yeah, that's, explain. What's the exact word is there, right? Um,
Pavarga.
pub, say, yeah,
Pa is
I mean,
Parishram.
Yeah,
Po,
po is parishram.
fo
Po
is
means fena, right?
foam. Yeah.
Po.
Pa,
Uh,
pa for
po
ba.
for
Ba means,
bhaya, fear.
no, that is ba. Pa for ba. Then there is ba. So ba is
Boys.
pa for ba, bha, ma. You know the alphabets, right? You are.
Yeah.
So
Po
pa for
is
ba, bha, ma.
parishram. Po is fena. Ba is
Ba. Ba is pa. We are at pa is parishram.
vyarth,
Fa
vyarth,
is form or fame, like form. Then ba is what?
vyarthata something.
Vyarthata or bandhan.
Vyarthata.
Bandhan.
Yeah, bandhan.
Bandhan.
Um,
And then bha is
Bha
bhaya.
is bhaya, fear.
Ma is mrityu.
Mrityu,
Yes.
death.
So we have
And
to work very
apavarga
hard.
means,
Yeah.
hmm,
Go ahead.
I was saying that apavarga means these are not present,
Hmm.
absence of all these.
Means negate, right? To nullify. So in spiritual world, in spiritual life, or you can go take spiritual world, right? There is no parishram. Of course, there is parishram. We have to do parishram. We have to get up early. But this parishram is not going to give you repeated birth and death. Fa means you work very hard, you get exhausted. That's why people say now in the weekend, now it's Thanksgiving. Now I have to get up at 9 o'clock because the whole week I worked very hard. I have to chill out on the weekend. So people get up at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock because weekend, right? Because whole week we are getting up at morning and going through job and so many things. It's very hard work. So we become exhausted by all this hard work. So for fena, like a horse when it runs very fast, then foam comes at the mouth. So we become exhausted after this parishram. For and then ba means now because you worked very hard, you did so much karma, it now creates bondage. You become attached to the fruits of your results. It's a bandhan. Or all this vyarthata means vyarthata means it is
Waste,
waste, futile.
earth, yeah,
Yeah,
futile, yeah.
futile. It is futile, all this hard work. Because at the end we will not take anything. And then bha means bhaya. Always there is fear. What will happen? Like all this, my job will go. Will I get a job? I'll be not successful. What will happen? This, that. Will my children turn out to be very good? Anxiety, always, all the time, anxiety. And there is anxiety about death also. And anxiety about losing things, losing loved ones, and then finally mrityu, which comes. So this is called the. So when one the association of devotees, Kapila Dev is saying, when we hear and discuss Krishna Katha, it is very pleasing to the ear and the heart. Of course, initially it may not be pleasing because we are diseased, but still we have to. So Bhavanti Ritkarna Rasayana Katha. By this cultivation, one is quickly set on the path of liberation, and then step by step, his faith, his attraction, and devotion develops. As opposed to this is Apavarga Vartmani, right? This the Vartmani means the path of liberation. In 9.3, Krishna is saying, Ashraddhana Purusha Dharmasyasya Parantapa Aprapya Mam Nivartante Mrityu Sansara Vartmani. What is Vartmani means? Vartmani means
Path,
path.
path.
So there he is saying the path of liberation, he is saying the path of Mrityu Sansar, path of repeated birth and death. So he's saying those who are not not faithful, means they don't have faith that there is God and there is spiritual world and they don't have faith in the process of devotional service. Then they will not follow, right? The more faith you have, the more you follow certain thing, right? That conviction or faith. The more the faith you have, this is good, this is not good. the more you are convinced. Of course, sometimes we are convinced, but still we can't follow. And that is also there because of our conditioning. But if you have no faith, ashraddhathana purusha, dharmasyasya parantapa, towards the process of Bhagavad Bhakti, O killer of enemies. Aprapya mam nivartante. Prapti means to obtain. Aprapya, they don't. Aprapya mam, they don't obtain me. Nivartante, nivartante means they come back. Where? Mrityu sansara vartmani. They come in this material existence on the path of repeated birth and death. So those who are not faithful in this devotional service cannot attain me, conqueror of the enemies. Therefore, they return to the path of birth and death in the material world. So somehow we have to become convinced, right? Faith, we have to develop strong faith. And that is how only somebody can surrender, right? Rakshashi iti vishwash. Vishwas means faith, that Krishna will protect me. That Vishwas has to be there, strong. Krishna will protect me, Krishna will maintain me. Then you can surrender to Krishna. Prabhupada came on that faith, right? He didn't know where he was going to live and everything, how life in America would be. So he came like that with the faith. Okay, so it's 8 o'clock. We'll read this
But
one more.
Prabhuji, faith,
Go ahead.
you said that faith, one has to be faith, but faith develops like there's a two friends. If someone is behaving accordingly, then your faith increases day by day, right? So when we don't see Krishna, so how can we increase our faith more and more in Krishna?
We
Like
don't
there
see
is a
Krishna.
relationship, nahi, like there is a relationship, right? If any relationship, two person in relationship, and they both have love each other, they're trusting each other, and their faith is increases by the time that, oh, he's my friend or she's my friend, and she's not going to do any, I have trust on him or him her, right? So initially with Krishna, that no, one has to develop faith that, okay, Krishna will protect me. But if something is not going your way, let's say I have faith that the Krishna will take care of this, and I just did it, or maybe I failed. So that time, like it happened one time with me that, I was like preparing myself so much for the exam, and I had faith that, oh, I'm going to pass my exam. I mean, it happens is commonly. So our faith reduces because which I had faith that I have done my part also, and I have faith that Krishna will help me with this. And if somehow I failed that exam or something, then still maintaining faith is, I feel like that is little hard. I'm not the pure devotee,
Yeah,
so
that is true. That
generally I'm talking about.
correct. Yeah, that's how we can. Yeah, we have faith that Krishna will do this. My business will flourish. I started my business will flourish, and it didn't flourish, right? So then our faith in
Mhm.
Krishna. Many people do this Griha Pravesh and Griha Puja and all these things with the faith that, okay, God will help me and there'll be no problems and things like that. So, yeah, that's why knowledge is very important with faith. I feel like that. Just faith is there, but knowledge also has to be there because then you can understand why things are happening the way they are happening. So, that is one thing.
Yeah, I agree that. I agree at this point because sometimes you just say that having faith, and maybe if I don't do, that person also can do faith. Okay, I have a faith that I'm not doing my part, Krishna will give me marks, good marks. It's not possible, right?
Yeah, I mean, Krishna can do anything, but the thing is, yeah, It's like so that's why sometimes we have to also think that, I may not be like, it's not good for me. All these things we say, right? Oh, Krishna didn't give me, but probably it was not good for me. That's why I didn't give. Or we say it's my karma and, Krishna. So faith also, I mean, we can see the hand of Krishna. We don't see Krishna in our life, but we can see how many things we have gotten, right? Which we get automatically, right? Without so much endeavor, right? So this is how we can also count our blessings and see, okay, and Krishna is giving me so many things every day. I have of course, we don't think like that because we think, yeah, this has to be given, right? This is all naturally, I should be given all these things. So then also, but we can relate sometimes, right? We can think, yeah, how our life is that we don't have to like worry about so many things. How where will I eat my next meal? Is there going to be food or not? And by Krishna's arrangement, by the sun, by the air, by the water, I'm getting food. We didn't make any. We may like earn money, but if there was no sun, there was no air, there was no water, and soil was not producing or earth, then how will we get? So, and also the intelligence I have, how it is working, so nicely. My intelligence is working nicely because Krishna is giving me this intelligence. So that's how we should think. Krishna says, Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam. Krishna is giving me this intelligence, this inspiration. So in that way, you can see the hand of Krishna. And then Prabhupada says, like, whenever you drink water, you should think, yes, first of all, water, we didn't create the water. Krishna supplied the water. And then we think that, oh, this taste of water is Krishna. This sunlight is Krishna. Prabhashmi Shashi Suryayo. So like that, everything, in some way, we can connect it with Krishna. This is Krishna's energy, whatever I have. Like somebody was saying, humility means three things, right? What are the three things? We heard this in the class, or did I hear it on my own? I sometimes forget whether we heard it on the call or I heard it on my own. Humility means three things. What is one thing? I am not the doer. I am not the doer. Means if I am not see, this is also, I am not the doer doesn't mean that I can do anything wrong and say, oh, I am not the doer. Krishna is the doer. That's not how it is. I am not the doer means I am not. Krishna is empowering me to do things, the right things. So we don't become proud. Oh, I am doing it. So, but of course, the credit we have is our desire. That much we can take the credit because that's the only thing that the jiva has is the desire. So, and sometimes to not feel proud that I have the right desires, we can also say Krishna is giving me the right desires. Krishna is giving me the right desires. So in that way, I am not the doer. Uh, then second is I am not deserving of anything. I don't deserve. But still Krishna is so kind, he's giving me all this. I don't deserve. That's the second thing. And the third thing is I'm servant. I'm servant. That's the three things I think. Maybe it was Keshav Maharaj was saying. Humility means three things. I'm not the
Yes.
doer. I don't deserve things. So like that, then when we think I
Yes.
deserve all these things, then there is no like faith that Krishna is providing. I deserve it. But when I think I don't deserve it, but Krishna is still providing, then we think, it's Krishna is who's providing all these things, even though I don't deserve. Krishna is providing. So that way we can relate to Krishna. Of course, now you may say, well, this is may not be right because I may deserve it by my karma. So our mind is also very like tricky. It's, no, I so many people are not thinking of Krishna, but they're getting, because they have. So then, how do we say? We say, oh, because they have their karma. That is why they are getting things. But then you can say, okay, if they're getting by their karma, but who is enforcing the karma? The results of karma, who is giving? Krishna is giving. So even you may have your karma, but the results of your karma is being given by Krishna. So in that way, you can say, oh, it's through Krishna only. Ultimately, I'm getting. So like that, we have to again, because we've been hearing Keshav Maharaj so much. So he was saying that when I came first to Krishna consciousness movement, devotees would also say, Krishna wants us to go there. Krishna wants us to go there and do Sankirtan. Like that. So he was saying that it was very, like for him, it was
Yes.
kind of wonderful that in everything that devotees were saying, Krishna is, maybe Krishna doesn't want us to do this. Maybe Krishna wants us to do that. So they were like kind of relating to Krishna everything. So he was saying that it seemed like Krishna was a real person who is very active in our life, not like somebody who is way up there and he's doing his own thing and I'm doing my own thing here and there is no connection. But Krishna is very active. So, of course, now the problem is that if I get bad desires and I say, oh, Krishna gave me that desire, so that we should not do like that. We should say that it is my own shortcoming. But if we do some good thing, then we'll say, oh, Krishna gave me that desire, like that. So now you may say, well, this is not right, right? If bad thing is your thing, then good thing must also be your thing. Why you would say that bad thing is yours and good thing is Krishna's? So, so that is the thing, right? That's why sometimes you may think, well, if bad thing I am responsible for, then good thing also I am responsible for. Why are you bringing Krishna in it? So, but then we know Krishna, if we are chanting Hare Krishna, then Krishna is giving us the right intelligence. So that's why we say it's Krishna who's giving us the right thing, right intelligence. Dadami buddhi yogam tam. Matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha. He is giving me. So I'm because I'm engaged in his service, he is giving me the right intelligence and inspiration to do the right things. So in that way we can. Because Krishna says that I will give you the intelligence. Dadami buddhi yogam tam. Okay. Anyway, too much thinking and all these things. Because sometimes you think about the philosophy and it has to make sense. So we have to find ways in how it makes sense. So our mind may come up with some argument, then intelligence comes and says, no, no, but this is how you should see. So, so this is called
But at first place, Prabhuji, one has to desire, right? That's first place is Jiva's
prerogative.
choice,
Correct.
right? Yeah, because if you because in one of the purport in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna also Prabhupada writes that um, there's a line exact is there that if you if anyone desire to do the sinful activities, Krishna engage them to do the sinful activities so that person may go to hell. So I mean, when I was reading that purport, I was thinking that why Krishna wants to go to the hell? Why he is? I
Which
think in the
purport
fourth
is that?
chapter. Uh, I will
In
let you
16th
know.
chapter, are you talking about divine and demoniac nature in where Krishna?
No, I have noted it down somewhere, that statement.
Okay, you
It's
can
in
see
the,
Bhagavad
yeah,
Gita.
no, it's in Bhagavad Gita.
Hmm.
Bhagavad Gita, fifth chapter, I guess. Fifth chapter, um, in 515, I guess.
Hmm. Let's look at
I
515.
in 515.
Such desires fulfilled by the Lord allows him to hold the Lord. Lord is never responsible for the actions and reactions of the constant complaint. Desire is the, yeah, this might be because it's talking about desire. However, one desires Krishna and yeah, the Lord engages the living entity in pious activities so that he may
Mhm.
be elevated. The Lord engages him in impious activities so that he may go to hell. This is Kaushit Kaushitaki Upanishad.
Yeah,
So, but it is so then we have to take it in context, right? So it is because of the desire of the living entity. It's not that Lord
right.
engages the what is saying Prabhupada is saying the Lord, however, can fulfill all desires. He does not interfere with the desire of the minute independent living entities. Yes.
Yeah, because Paramatma, we say that they approve all the actions that we do, right?
However, when one desires
Without,
Krishna, the Lord takes special care and encourages one to desire. One can attend to him and be. Yeah, so based on our desire, Krishna is reciprocating. The
Mhm,
Lord fulfills his desire. So we cannot blame God. That's something I wrote to Janish recently
mhm.
about something.
Yeah.
He says, Krishna willing. Then
Mhm.
I said, yes, Krishna reciprocates based on our desires. So,
That's why I say that the first step is the step that we need to take it as jiva, that what we desire. Like you say that Vedami Buddhi Yogam Tam. So if you desire to do something, then Krishna will help you with that. That now this jiva is desiring to come back to me, is turning, is using the intelligence or showing the inclination, then he's providing um, facilities that they can
yeah,
come.
so
But if one desires,
yes,
mhm,
initially, if we desire to do devotional, so we get engaged. Then Krishna says in that verse, which I was saying, 10.10, uh,
mhm,
then if one is engaged in devotional service, then he will give the buddhi,
right.
right, to those who are constantly engaged in devotional service. I will give them the intelligence by which they can come to me. So, yeah, first you start devotional service with your own desire, right? Or and then once you are engaged in devotional service, then Krishna starts helping you to get the right. If you are doing it with love and affection, that's what he's saying. Those who are engaged, satatam, but he says, tesham satata yuktanam. Satata means constantly. Tesham satata yuktanam. Bhajatam priti purvakam. Dadami buddhi yokam tam yena mamupiyardite. So he says, those who are constantly engaged in devotional service, then I will give them the intelligence by which they can come to me. But that means if you are not constantly engaged, still Krishna gives intelligence. In that verse, he's saying satata. So intelligence means like you got the intelligence means it's related to desires also to do the right thing, the intelligence to do the right thing. So that also comes from Krishna. Uh, so every moment, like yeah, of course we can also deviate. As we were saying, every moment is a choice. So at every moment we can desire Krishna or Maya. So that is also there. Um, and here Prabhupada says the Lord does not interfere with the desires of the living entity. But when you take up devotional service, he may interfere because now you are approaching him. Without that, yeah, he generally doesn't interfere with the desires. Whatever you desire, he reciprocates. But now when you approach him, then he may start interfering with your. He's giving you intelligence. So Buddhi means like, yeah, intelligence. Ichha is desire. But buddhi and ichha are related, kind of, right? If you have good buddhi means you have good buddhi means you're going to do the right things. So that means the right. Okay, so now the desires, as I was saying, right? Desire. I have desired. Many days I'm thinking I have to clean my room. The desire is there, but it has not happened yet. Like the room has not been cleaned yet. So the desire is there, but the desire may not be intense. That's another thing. So that's also another thing. Um, we can say I have desired to go back home, back to Godhead, but only after these things are fulfilled. You know, as Keshav Maharaj was saying, only after doing all these things, then at the end. This is not my main desire, right? Right now, I have so many other desires, and at the end, I have the desire to go back home, back to God. So, like that, intensity of desire matters. If we really have intense desire, then it's like we say it's a burning desire, right? Burning desire. That means you will just act on it immediately because it's very burning desire for you. So, like that. So, that desire has to be made like concentrated to do things that are favorable and to give up things that are not favorable. It has to be made very concentrated. And who can make it concentrated? We can make it concentrated. How we can make it concentrated? When we are convinced, right? When we are convinced, like people who go to this residency, they do medicine, right? They work 36 hours, like non-stop. They are working. You hear of people who have done residency in America. They are saying, "Oh, we didn't get any time to sleep. We are working." Why? Because they are convinced that I have to become a doctor. This is the good thing with my life. I'm convinced. So, and they do it for like years together, right? Sometimes neurosurgery. We went to this home, and this Ravi and Purva's Ravi's brother is becoming a neurosurgeon. So 7, 8, 9 years, intense, rigorous, you know, practice. Like you have to do surgery, right? So you have to be really very expert at it. So you have to go through so much rigorous training. But how one is able to do it? Because he knows this is very good for my career, whatever the reason may be. I want to help people or whatever it may be. I want to make money. But you are convinced about the purpose. So you can go 9 years, right? 7, 8, 9 years doing then he's saying now I have to do fellowship. So then I have to again go somewhere and practice more. Because that desire is very intense. So similarly, we have to make our desire very intense. And then Krishna will then naturally will act on that desire. Otherwise I say, oh, I want to go to Mangalarti tomorrow. Yeah. I want to go to Mangalarti. But if desire is not intense, then we will not go. Right? I'm just giving an example. It's not like we have to go every day. Or tomorrow I want to chant nicely, right? Tomorrow I have to, or today I want to chant nicely. But it has to be very intense desire. And when you have intense desire, there is focus. And then you put aside everything. Your whatever is distracting you, you just say, you just get rid of it. I don't want this, I don't want this, I don't because I have to do this. Like an exam, right? You want to do very nicely. You are focused 3 hours completely on the exam because it's very crucial for you. So like that, we have to become like that, like concentrated. I'm telling this to myself because get distracted, right? Vyavasayitmika buddhi. You have to become like magnifying glass. Concentrate all the light energy into one point. So, so our consciousness is going in all directions, everywhere. So to bring, gather it, and put it on Krishna, like that. So like that, we have to ultimately become one pointed. Right? So we can start. We nobody can do it for us. We have to do it ourselves. Others can give us inspiration by hearing what happens. This is what the inspiration we get when we hear from those who have that concentrated desire. Then we feel like we also get affected by that. Prabhupada had that concentrated desire. So that's why you wonder how these American people who never heard about Krishna got so much, they became so much concentrated. So, depending on your association, how concentrated they are in achieving Krishna, in serving Krishna, that's the degree to which we will also become like that. So, you want to associate with those who are very focused if you want that. So, first of all, we should have to desire to want that. Then we will become like that. That's why we hear from all the Maharajas and all this because generally we say sannyasi means everything giving up for the. It can be grihastha also. I'm not saying that, but anybody who has very concentrated thing, very. Then you want to associate. Like we don't want to be lukewarm. Jesus Christ said that. Like we don't want to be lukewarm. We want to be concentrated. What is that? Be hot or cold. Don't be lukewarm. So like that. Anyway, slowly and gradually, we'll all become hot. You all are. How all of you get up so early and chant Hare Krishna and every day, 3 hours, 4 hours you chant. I think Madan Mohini Mataji gets up so early and constantly chanting. And Janish
No, everybody gets up early, Prabhu, not only me.
and yeah, no, I'm saying, yeah, all of you means. But we can
Yeah,
hear you chanting. Others we are not able to hear. But we don't have to judge anybody. We are not. We have to be responsible. But if everybody could unmute and chant, it'll be nice. Right? If you can unmute and chant, then we'll get inspiration. Okay, I'm hearing so many devotees chanting. Like in Japa, when we go in the temple, then everybody is like sitting in one room and chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. You hear the sound. But if you see somebody who is chanting and then falling asleep like that, and you see them, and then you think like, yeah, it's okay if I also fall asleep like that in between like that. It's okay. But you see everybody's chanting nicely, then you think, oh, I should not fall asleep. Everybody's chanting nicely, here it's a very serious audience. I should also become very serious and I should, somebody standing up and chanting because they're falling asleep. And they are chanting, they are, Prabhupada is pronouncing every word. Of course, we don't have to shout loudly or anything to disturb others, but that just seeing the devotees, right, it gives some inspiration. So maybe everybody should, like on some calls, Zoom calls, they turn the video on for everybody, so they see everybody chanting. So we can do that from tomorrow. What do you think? We can turn on our video and like in the temple, like we are chanting japa. It's like we are all sitting and everybody can see each other. Of course, we are not meant to see each other. We are supposed to chant the holy name. But we see, even if you open our eyes, we see all the people are there chanting. So that is, then we know.
yeah.
uh,
Now saying in that we will be cautious as well to be more attentive.
more attentive. Yeah, others are watching me. I should not be falling asleep. I should be not looking at my phone like that, because we have some desire
Mm.
for reputation also, right? We don't want to be called a very casual devotee. We want to be like set a good example. That's also there. Yeah, go ahead. Preeti.
I was saying that this consciousness should always be there. Either somebody is turned
Watching or
on the
not
camera,
watching.
not, yeah, watching or not watching, because Krishna is always watching.
Correct. That's true.
So this consciousness is always be there because Krishna is with you. I have to be really attentive. And
Right.
I'm calling Krishna. And how can I be inattentive if I'm calling someone?
Yes.
So This consciousness always be
But if
there,
you
but
have that
yeah, it's a good.
consciousness always, then why shouldn't we inspire others? So because you have that consciousness always, you can also inspire others. Because when they see you in that consciousness, then that it is a service. We do it to inspire others. Like we say, oh, this person, you know,
Yeah,
gives us, he sponsored the Sunday feast, like that. We say, of course, the person should not think that I'm doing it for name and fame. Like, but if you are strong in Krishna consciousness, then you can inspire others to become strong. So, yeah, that is what I was saying. But yeah, so like that, tomorrow we will have this. I was thinking we can put all our cameras on and we can see each other. Of course, we don't have to see each other. We also put the deities, but we can see that oh, everybody's chanting Hare Krishna, right? So otherwise, we don't know who is there, who is not there, and whether everybody has joined, but they are chanting, not chanting, sleeping. Of course, we don't have to think about all who what others are doing, but I'm just saying for positive inspiration, if we can all. So
no, it's a good practice.
it's
It's
a
a
good
good practice
practice.
to
Yeah,
do. Yeah,
I think
but
other calls they do like that. Zoom call they have like even Giriraj Maharaj when he said it will be best if you can when he's giving a class he says it's best if you can turn your cameras on so I can see you. And then when you are on the camera in our office also, no, when there is meeting at one place they said it's mandatory to turn the cameras on because if you are attending a meeting they don't know whether you are there or not there, right? If the camera is not on, so you are attentive or not attentive. Of course, some places they allow you as long as you are doing your work, but so like that we can do. Maybe if you don't want to do it, it's okay. Anyway, come to the call. Don't think that you can't come to the call. But this is a good way. That's why then you'll have to take, you have to look presentable. Right? So maybe you'll put a tilak. We take a bath in the morning and we put tilak, everything. Then we sit down to chant. And it'll be like more, like when we come to temple, we don't just wear our night clothes and come. We take a bath, we put dhoti kurta or sari, whatever, and then put a tilak and then come. So that will help also. Okay,
it
anyway.
all comes under the preparation, the four out of four P's that one has to prepare externally and internally to chant.
Correct. Anyway, we are not doing it to make ourselves look like, prove that we are very good devotees or anything to others. That should not be the consciousness that I am trying to prove myself as a very, you know, very serious devotees to others. No, that we don't need any validation from others, but it is to inspire each other. That's why we should do it. Okay, so from tomorrow, yeah, I think on this we can turn the camera on or not. Let me see if I shared a screen. If I turn my camera on right now, can you see me? You can tell me if you can see me.
I multitask, when I'm listening to this call. Do you want me to still have my camera on? Because then, you'll be
But that
distracted
is
to
the
other
point,
screen.
right? That when we chant, we should not multitask.
Not chanting right now. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, right now, okay. Yeah,
Hmm.
because our call goes longer and you may have your.
Yeah, I have lots going on. That's why in the
But
morning. I'm not
maybe
sure if you
till
want to
8
see all
o'clock,
that.
till 8 o'clock, you can turn your camera on. And after that, you can turn. So some part of the class, because you can have that. But I know your schedule may be different, so I don't want. But then everybody will have something or other going on. Then nobody will turn on. Then we'll be back to square one. They will say if Janish is not turning on, then why should I turn on? Why you have one rule for Janish and one rule for me? So
No, I'm just saying this is my
I
case.
think
So if
for
that
now
you're
you
okay with
just
that. Yeah.
maybe
Yeah,
some people
Prabhuji, are
can.
you okay to see our family members also if we turn on our cameras?
Yeah, as long as they're chanting, right? If they're not, if you're turning them on, then they're sleeping, then we don't want to see them, right? Because If they are also chanting your family members, then I want to see them. Yeah, that's okay. But not if they're sleeping.
Then you'll be thinking about them and
No,
not
I'm
Krishna.
saying like yeah. The
Huh?
At least for Japa, we can make it,
Yeah, so let
right?
me see now if you
I'm
can
saying
see.
for the class, Prabhu, if we turn on now, like you will see everybody here.
Yeah,
If I turn on my camera, you will see everybody.
okay, let's see if we can. I turned on my camera. It says your camera is not working. Okay, why is not working?